Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today we are getting into the volume 31 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments open in front of me, so we will get straight into it. But before, I'm going to let you know I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information that I provide in the videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State. So without further ado, let's get into it and start with the very first comment from Stacy N. You can't pay your fees on the portal unless your priority dates becomes current. So you need to let your viewers know if they log on and don't see any documents to fill out or can't pay any fees, it's because a visa is not available for them as yet. Actually, Stacy, this is not correct. If that was the truth, then we wouldn't have the documentarily qualified petitioners or beneficiaries who are waiting for their immigrant visa to become available. And I mean, we can see that in the visibility, and that's why we have a whole separate graph specifically, not this one, this one right here, specific called for final action dates, specifically for people who are already documentarily qualified, which means they have submitted everything on the NVC portal. They paid the fees and they have actually been approved, but the visa is still not available for them, so they are waiting from these dates. And with that being said, Stacy, if anybody's watching this video, Stacy including, if you guys are not sure, I wouldn't spread misinformation. All right, just because it is a certain way in your case, it doesn't mean it's the same for everyone. You always have to get the information from the official sources. That's why I say it's very important getting from the government sources, not third-party websites, not immigration forums, because there is a lot of stuff that is out of date. There's a lot of stuff that is clickbait, so we don't want to fall for that. Let's move on to the next one from Natasha Bo. My husband applied for asylum. I'm his wife in his case. My husband changed his address online. I did the same. I received a refusal to change my address by email. What's wrong? Give me some advice, please. Interesting, Natasha. So I would say verify the information that you have entered for the address change. The only other thing other than incorrect information, because I'm thinking maybe your husband put that information and then there was a mistake either in your husband's entry or your entry, and it just does not match, and that's why you received the refusal. But the only other thing that I'm thinking that is possible with this scenario is that USCIS refused to change the address because they already got the address change from your husband, and because he is the petitioner, the main petitioner, and you're dependent in his case, you don't even need to submit the address change because everything was already updated under his request for an address change. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna put this, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Rafael Castro. Very helpful to know some about USCIS. Alrighty, I'm glad this is helpful. Thank you, Free Immigration, for the information. You're very welcome, Rafael. Moving further to Mercy Asare. My son in Ghana, all document fees paid and approved in December 2021, pending interview date. What can I do? Please advise. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome, Mercy. Thank you for being part of this channel and asking the question. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin. It'll be another opportunity for me to demonstrate the navigation on the visa bulletin. So if you have already been documentarily qualified, and that this comment right here goes for Stacy N, because you have been documentarily qualified and you're still waiting since 2021, which I'm thinking most likely your son is over 21, because if he was under 21, it shouldn't have been taking this long. But if you can, let me know in the follow-up comment, because I might be able to give you a little bit more information. But if the son if the beneficiary has already been, documentarily qualified, everything is good, if we're just waiting for the visa become available so that the interview is scheduled. Let's take a look what we got for the final action dates. Now we got F1, which is unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens over 21, and they're right now the dates that they're processing are from December 2014. So as you can see, it is quite some delay, quite some backlog specifically for that category. So before I even give you the dates or give you any estimates, please let me know in the follow-up comment if your son is over 21 or under 21. So I'm gonna post this and I will wait for your response, and I will follow up on that in the next video. Moving further to Ivan Martinez. So what happens when there's no way to prove taxes? Interesting question, Ivan. So whenever it comes, because you asked this question on the video on I-130, the petition for alien relative, and I'm assuming you're probably the petitioner, because the petitioner has to provide their taxes because they are serving as a sponsor. All right. Basically, you're giving this kind of a guarantee to to the NVC, to the Department of State, saying that if your beneficiary comes here, they will not become dependent on the government benefits. They will be your dependents, okay? If that makes sense. So taxes are very, very important. In fact, they don't just ask for tax return, they also ask for tax transcripts, which is very rare whenever it comes to, really pretty much any other immigration proceedings. Most of the times, the tax returns are enough for the most part. So in your case, I would definitely look into the reason why the taxes are not available, why you cannot prove the taxes. Because if you are a resident, if you are a citizen, and you're petitioning for beneficiary, for an alien relative, then you should have had the taxes filed every year while being here. In fact, as a resident getting naturalized, one of the main things that you will be asked are the tax returns showing your residency here in the United States. That's one of the things that proves, because if you are paying taxes, if you're filing taxes, it means you've been here in the United States, you've been working in the United States, so you have been a resident. So the taxes are very important. I would look into the reason why these tax returns are not available, and if they have not been filed properly, then you will have to reach out. You have to find an accountant that will help you maybe file those past tax returns that have not been filed. But it is very important. Without the taxes, you won't be able to prove that you are sufficient enough of a sponsor for the beneficiary. So most likely you will have to find a joint sponsor in order to do that. So I'm gonna do that, and if you can follow up and let me know why these taxes are not available, that would be helpful, and maybe I could provide more information in return. All right, moving further, Borhan Han, great job, very helpful. Thank you, Borhan, for watching. Buy YouTube views, can't wait for the next upload. Thank you for watching. Moving further to Jaspertin Negrillo. Sir, can I ask what documentarily qualified date are they giving interview? F2A category. Okay, documentarily since September 2021. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Manila. You're very welcome, Jasperin. Thank you for asking the question. So let's take a look. You got the F2A category, and we're gonna go back to the visa bulletin right here. And if you don't know how to navigate visa bulletin, I've actually done a separate video. It's called Understanding Visa Bulletin. Check it out. It might be helpful if you have I-130 case in the process, right? Family reunification. So F2A are the spouses and children of permanent residents. The visa availability, there is no cap on the immigrant visa available for that particular category. As you can see, all of these are current. So if you have already been documentarily qualified since September 2021, that is like a year and a half that you are waiting for an interview. It's taking a little bit too long. Usually these cases usually within about a month. Usually once you are documentarily qualified with NVC, your case is transferred to the local embassy. So I'm thinking maybe the embassy that the country where the U.S. embassy is in, maybe that U.S. embassy is just a little bit busy and they don't have any availability for the immigrant visa interview, so it's just pending basically their scheduling, but I would definitely recommend on this one submitting a public inquiry with the NVC, also contacting the local US embassy, just reaching out to them and asking, hey guys, have you received my case, what's going on, when is it going to be, when the interview is going to be scheduled. And also, I think just yesterday I've done a video on requesting the expedited processing. Now, in your case, you can definitely do that because the immigrant visa is already available. So you can definitely take that shot and ask them, hey guys, I've been waiting already since September 2021. This is causing, emotional hardship because, I'm filing, this F2A category. So you're either filing for a spouse or a child under 21. All right. So this is serious category. This is immediate relative, as immediate as they can be, according to the Department of State. So definitely do that because this is taking a little bit too long in your case. All right, let's move on to the next one from Paul Filippo. Thank you. I'm halfway there. Just paid. Using your YouTube to complete my request. Your info is a great help. Thank you again. Applying for my wife in Thailand. Paul, thank you very much. The comments like this, they mean a lot to me. It means that the work that I'm doing with this channel actually helps people. So that definitely says a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Paul. Moving further to Zahra Ahmed. My sister, USA citizen, apply alien immigration for me, my husband, and daughter in 2018. Will you please tell me how much time it will take? Okay, so your sister is a US citizen and she is applying for you. So that would be F4 priority category. We're going to go back to the visa bulletin and we're going to scroll down to the dates of filing. Let me see when did you, so 2018. So she filed, so she petitioned for you in 2018. So the date of filing would be in 2018 in this case. Now F4 category, as you can see, brothers and sisters of adult US citizens, so F4. So as of March 2023, right now, they are processing the petitions, not processing, the visa, the immigrant visa is becoming available for the petitions filed back in December 2007. So between the petition that your sister filed in 2018 and that are being the visas being available to the petitions that have been filed in December 2007, there is 11 years. Yes, 11 years. Sorry, my math is bad. That's why I deal with legal stuff now with the calculations. 11 years. 11 years backlog, 11 years delay. And again, I would definitely recommend you check out the video that I've made, Understanding Visa Bulletin, because over there I talk about the backlog. A lot of people don't realize how bad the backlog is. So you can see 11 years between, so roughly from now, if things stays the same, if nothing speeds up or nothing slows down, roughly, very rough estimate, from now on, about 11 more years you will have to wait for that immigrant visa to become available. And I know this is probably not the answer that you're looking for because it is ridiculously long, and unfortunately this is just the state of the immigration that we have, unfortunately. So there is from now on to 2023, 16 years. 16 years delay, backlog, not the delay, but the backlog for the immigrant visas for brothers and sisters of adult US citizens, which is a huge problem. So I'm gonna pause this. Unfortunately, there isn't much that you can do. It has already been filed, and now the only thing that we can do is be patient. And trust me, when I say that, I can personally relate because I myself have the petition that is going to be waiting for a very, very, very long time before the immigrant visa becomes available for the beneficiary that I filed for. All right, let's move on to the next comment from Fafunmi Ismaila. Please, what if you did not work for the last 3 years? Can you check 2 and 3? Aha, okay, great question that was asked on the fee, USCIS fee waiver. Request for a fee waiver I-912. So if you did not work for the last 3 years, yes, you can I mean, that is a reason for financial hardship. So it's definitely a valid reason to file the request for a fee waiver. Most likely, though, you will have to do some explaining and saying why you did not work, because now you'll have to show that you did not work not because you just did not want to work, but you didn't work because there was some kind of substantial reason that prevented you from working. So keep that in mind. But yes, you can it definitely works as the reason for filing the fee waiver. Moving further to Key and Chi informative video. Thank you for watching. Moving further to Patty. Oh, I see in your video we are exempt as a spousal visa to the amount issue. I thought that spousal visa does not fall into this. I thought if all is clear, they get their visa. There is no waiting on number of visa to get given for a marital visa. Yes, Patty. So that's correct. And again, as you can see, this comment is on Understanding Visa Bulletin. And as you can see, person commenting and understanding, I definitely recommend checking out that video, because, a lot of times you don't realize, and the Visa Bulletin, the family immigration attorneys, they all check Visa Bulletin. But whenever it comes to the petitioners, whenever it comes to beneficiaries, immigrants, ourselves, right? A lot of times people don't know about the Visa Bulletin. So definitely check it out. But yes, whenever it comes to spouses, whether U.S. citizen or permanent resident, there is no cap on the visas that are available for spouses. However, keep in mind, Patty, and I'm gonna do this because it might be helpful. Keep in mind that whenever it comes to permanent residents, still, even though there is no cap for an immigrant visa for permanent residents, still it takes longer, in most cases about twice longer, for processing and all that sort of stuff, compared to U.S. citizen filing for the petition for the beneficiary, for petitioning for the beneficiary. So with that being said, a lot of times you will encounter cases where somebody is petitioning for a spouse as a permanent resident, and then down the road they get naturalized and their petition is still pending, and now they it's only wise for them to go ahead and update the status, because once they do, their petition, there is a substantial chance that their petition will be processed faster compared to it being processed as a permanent resident. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna do this one for that one as well, and we're gonna move on further to a comment from Enzama Dennis. And Enzama Dennis, always appreciate your questions. Hi, may I know if I do qualify for DV lottery visa when I have certificate in culinary arts with my ordinary level from Uganda, but have 3 years work experience in field of catering? Okay, so whenever it comes to the DV lottery, it's pretty straightforward. It's either a high school, whenever it comes to the education level, or 2 years of work experience. So you have 3 years of work experience. So even if you don't have the high school diploma, if you never finish school, you already have enough to give you the eligibility in order to participate in the DV lottery. So I'm gonna put this, and we're gonna move on to the next comment from Boss Mai. Hello, sir. Thank you for answering my question last time. You're very welcome. I'm here to follow up some questions. My siblings are from Philippines. Okay, like what I said last time, my mom is the substitute petitioner on their visa. My question is, are we gonna go back to zero, like for waiting 5 years, again, because of the substitution? Again, we filed the visa May 2016, received welcome letter May 2020. We filed substitution around May till August 2022. Thank you again. Okay, boss. Hi, excellent question. So whenever it comes to the substitution, it does not bring your clock all the way back, so you don't have to wait. Basically, it goes as of the filing, as of the date of the filing with USCIS. So even along the way, if there is substitution of the sponsor, or if, let's say, for example, you submit one sponsor, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful for other people who are watching this video. Let's say You submitted one sponsor, obviously the petition comes out as sponsor, and then NVC reviews it and says, hey, the petitioner in this case does not make enough money, you will have to find a joint sponsor. Again, this is kind of similar process to a substitution, only this time you're not substituting, you're adding an additional sponsor. Stuff like this does not bring the clock down, so as long as the filing date is back, and in your case, let's see, actually let's take a look, waiting 5 years now, so May 2016, and I'm gonna give you the numbers because now I know that it's for Philippines, and for Philippines actually there is a whole separate chargeability. It's a whole separate chargeability area. I'm thinking that's because there's heavier numbers, heavier immigration numbers whenever it comes to the Philippines. But let's take a look. We filed a visa May 2016. All right, so May 2016 was the filing date. Let's take a look. We're in the filing date, and this is my siblings, my mom, the substitute petitioner. Okay, so I don't remember which category that was, but let's see, May 2016. So we got Philippines here. So if it's F1, if it is F1, which is unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, which I think, if I remember correctly, that was the category that you were asking. Philippines, April 2015. So if it was submitted in 2016, it means you're just about 1 year left for waiting. Now, because of the substitution, whenever it comes to the substitutions and additions of the sponsor on the NVC side, it does delay the process by 2-3 months. Why? Because basically now you have NVC reviewing your case not once but twice, right? So they took their time, they reviewed your case, and then they said, hey, you need an additional sponsor. Then you find and add the additional sponsor. Obviously there's a little bit time, and then there's a little bit of wait for National Visa Center to get back to your petition and review it once again, and then hopefully approve it. So it might cause a little bit of delay, but again, not much, not at all. It will still count from the date of the initial filing. So I'm going to submit that. Thank you for following up, and we're going to move on to the next set of comments. Actually, quite a lot of comments from Freddy Escobar, but they're all in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. So whoever's watching this video, if you could, please, these comments were posted on I-130 interview questions. What should I expect? Video. They're all on here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comments in Spanish. If someone could please translate it for me and post the translation so that I could get back to Freddy and answer his questions or comments, whatever it is that he's asking. That would be really, really helpful. I would really appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the very last one. Already responded to Mark, so we're gonna address Tasha, and that would be it for today. So let's get to Tasha Kai. How can I check my asylum online? Excellent question, Tasha. So whenever it comes to asylum cases, unfortunately, this is like all over the place. Back in the day, it used to be you could log into the USCIS portal, and I'm gonna actually use this as an opportunity to demonstrate it. So you already have received your receipt number. If you have already received the receipt number, basically it's the first notice saying by USCIS saying, hey, we have received your case and basically accepted it. That's it. So now your case is in progress. Now you're in immigration proceedings, right? In order to check the case status on a case like this, all you're doing is you're going to the official U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website, uscis.gov, all right? And then we're going to go to Tools, and then Case Status Online over here. This will give you this page right here, Case Status Online page. You're just entering the receipt number, and again, you will see the receipt number, that's what it's called, right there on that notice of receipt, which is basically first notice of receipt saying that USCIS received your case. Now, the reason why I said in the beginning when I was answering your comment that it's hit and miss, because it seems like certain asylum offices, because that's where these cases are being processed, they do not provide the updates to the USCIS central system. So sometimes the receipt numbers on those notices specifically pertaining to the asylum cases, sometimes I've seen cases where you enter the receipt number and nothing comes up. It says that that information is unavailable, specifically on asylum cases. And this is not 100%, but I believe that it is because some of these asylum field offices, they just don't update the central system, which is unfortunate because then you cannot track it. But in that case, what I would recommend you do, on that same notice that you received, you will have your asylum field office that is processing your application. If in the central system you're not able to pull up any information on your case, reach out to the asylum office that is processing your application, because they would be the only ones who have any updates for it. On the plus side, however, now the asylum applications that are being submitted as of recent, they're processed very, very quickly. Within like a month, the interview is scheduled, so the processing is done super quick. So you shouldn't be waiting for too long to hear from your local asylum field office. So again, thank you everyone for asking your questions. Always appreciate them, because you're asking questions, I'm able to answer them and address them. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.